Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sharp Sports Media and the New York Mets. They take 2 out of 3 against the Philadelphia Phillies, winning the last 2 games of the series to continue to stretch their lead against the Phillies. Ultimately, they lose a game against the Braves as the Braves sweep the Marlins in a 4-game series. But the Mets, they win another series, and they have not lost a series against an NL East team this year. Let me repeat that. They have not lost a division series this year. That's ridiculous. That's insane. That doesn't happen. It's ludicrousy. It's blasphemy how much of a success they've had against their own division this year. And we'll start with yesterday's game. 1-1 in the series, last game, game 3, deciding game. They got Zack Wheeler on the bump, former Met, guy's a top pitcher in the league, against Bassitt, who's a very good pitcher, but this is the one of the 3 games where they have the matchup. And Bassitt, he had to work this game. He really had to work this game. Only went 5 innings. Got through early in the games. Earlier in the game, he was able to get through hitters a little easier, going 1, 2, 3 in the first 2, but gives up a walk in the 3rd inning and then a couple base hits in the 4th, and really had, I believe it was bases loaded in the 5th, right? Marsh doubles, Hoskins walks, in the 5th, 2 outs, bases loaded, and he gets the out from Bohm on a little kind of line out to McNeil. So Bassitt had to work that game very much, but he was able to get out of it. Goes 5 scoreless. So you know what? I know you like Bassitt going deep into games. He goes 7, 8 innings a lot of the times. And this was the first time in a while he hasn't even made it to 6. But he didn't have his. He was getting hit around a bit. They were working the pitch count against him, but ultimately, in the end, going 5 scoreless, it's good enough. And then the Mets, well, they came to play against Zack Wheeler, and again, we talked about it all year. They score so well in the first inning. Don't bet no run first inning on these New York Mets because you will lose most of the time. You're just gonna, because Nimmo with 4 inches away probably from a leadoff home run, which hopefully this starts to get him going again as we need him late in the stretch, especially with the Braves being the next series. Then, Marte moves him over and Lindor singles, and he officially he takes the record for the most RBIs in a season for a shortstop, and it was only August 14th. Only midway through August. He's going to shatter Reyes' record, and I'm all here for it. Such a vital part of this team, as we continue to talk about, does not get enough love. Then, after getting out of a jam in the 4th, Bassitt, the Mets, they're like, all right, you got out of the jam? Well, let's go put some more runs, get you more comfortable. Canna, Pete Alonso doubles down the left field line. Canna with a single. Guillorme with the little, brings the hands in and punts it out to left field to get a single to bring in Canna. And then James McCann got a hit. He's not been terrible since he's gone back from injury at the plate. Fielding, he hasn't, or behind the plate hasn't been that great, but he's been pretty solid with the bat. Him and Nito have been a lot better the past 2-3 weeks. And listen, are they playing amazing catchers? No, but they're serviceable. They're at least, it's not this so much of a dip. It's not an automatic out anymore right now, which is huge. It means, once in a while they're going to come up with a big hit. Once in a while they're going to start a rally. It's not just, there's an out. Double play. There goes the momentum. So that is a huge plus for the Mets if they can even bat like 220, 200. Just get it up a bit. So and the timely hits are also important. So McCann with a good single. Unfortunately, Guillorme rounding there hurts his groin. He's going for testing. He hopefully he's okay. He's going to be huge. He is a huge part of this team. He's the best defensive player on this team. He's probably one of the most underrated players in baseball just because nobody knows him. He's a Gold Glove caliber defense who makes amazing contact with the ball. He could start maybe on some teams. Probably most likely is going to start a playoff game for us, and is just a great utility guy that needs to be here come playoff time. Is going to be such a vital role. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. I will say though, apparently the Mets are considering, if it's a little longer than they would hope for, bringing number 2 prospect Brett Baty up, and Brett Baty is my favorite prospect. I love Brett Baty. I've said it before. I know Francisco Alvarez. I know how good he is, and I am so hyped for him. But my personal favorite prospect is Brett Baty. I think he's been... Oh, my God. He just got called up to third base. Or not third base. Triple A. I think 2 weeks ago. And he has been absolutely killing it. Hitting above... It's like 350 in the past week in AAA, and I think ultimately he could be your starter coming next year at third base. So getting him a couple reps if Guillorme is going to be out a little while as a left-handed bat, that could be something pretty good. That could realistically be a different look that could help the Mets. But continuing after the 5th inning, Guillorme comes out, Escobar comes in, but then it's Daniel Vogelback who hits an absolute moonshot in the 6th off of Wheeler and just extends the Mets lead to 6-0. And that was the end of the game. I mean, Mets get to Wheeler. He goes 6 innings, 6 earned runs. This was great. It was just a great win. The bats got to a great pitcher in Zack Wheeler. Bassitt was great. Bullpen, Trevor Williams was great. Joely, but got the 2 outs, and then Ottavino comes and shuts the door. Also, Michael Givens had a nice inning as well, getting 2 Ks. So Michael Givens continues to adjust, and he's going to be a big part of this bullpen. You're going to need to rely on him, so fans are going to need to get used to seeing him in high-pressure moments. Game 2, we'll talk about going back. So the Phillies took Game 1, but Game 2, now you need to win. You got, oh my God, you had Jacob deGrom on the mound, and I swear, I'm going to tweet every time he's on the mound. You're going to get a tweet from me saying it's deGrom day, check the schedule, and he pitched an absolute gem. He goes 6 innings, 10 Ks, 2 hits, no earned runs. He probably, if you weren't so concerned about it, he could have went 7 or even 8 innings, only 76 pitches. Just absolutely dominant out there on the mound. Fantastic. And now, this is what you're looking. This is why your people were just so excited for deGrom's comeback because you knew Scherzer, deGrom, and then you got the trio of Bassitt, Carrasco, and Walker as your 3 to 5. It's the best rotation in baseball, and watching deGrom do what he does, how can you not? He's obvious. He, without a doubt, in my opinion, is the best player for a pitcher, or best pitcher in baseball, and is the best baseball player at his job. Nobody does their job better than Jacob deGrom. You can argue he's not the best player in baseball just because he only plays once every 5 days. But you cannot tell me nobody is better at doing their job than Jacob deGrom. He is an alien, throwing 102 fastballs and 94 mile-an-hour sliders. It's literally unheard of. And I've run out of words to say for Jacob deGrom. He goes 6, and it's only a 1-run lead, so you need your bullpen to come up strong. Seth Lugo had a great 1 inning. Trevor May, who continues to be good after coming back from injury, which you're going to need. He is one of your top back-end relievers. And then Diaz struggled a bit. 2 walks. A couple steal bases. It was 2nd and 3rd. Got Castellanos up, and he strikes him out, closing the deal. So even when Edwin Diaz didn't have his stuff, he ends up closing the door. That's how good he's been this year. And moving on to the offense, like I said, don't bet no No runs first innings against the Mets because Marte singles, Marte singles. He steals second, and on the error from JT, he goes to third, and then Pete singles to bring him home. That's the only run so far, and Aaron Nola did pitch an absolute gem for the Philadelphia Phillies. I've always not been as high on Nola as other people, but he's proven me wrong this year. He's been fantastic. He went 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 Ks. He was phenomenal. But the Mets, you'd love to see more runs scored from the Mets for Jacob deGrom. But ultimately, they get the run in the first. There were definitely some opportunities that they didn't cash in on. Nola was great, but you expect a little more. But ultimately, you got the run you needed to. You did what you needed to do in that game. And then moving on to the first game, even though you lost, and this was a frustrating game. I mean, we'll start off with the positives, and that's the pitching, obviously. That's Max Scherzer going 7 innings, 9 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks. And Max, at the beginning of the game, did not look like Max Scherzer. His pitch count was high. He couldn't really locate. He was getting hit around. It just didn't look like Max Scherzer. He didn't look like something was off with Max to start the game. And it definitely took a bit. And I think once he got out of the second inning, only gave up 1 run in the first, striking out Derek Hall in the inning. Second inning, once he got through that, not giving up a run, you started to see Max Scherzer. He's like, all right, I just needed a bit, and now here I am. So even when Max Scherzer wasn't on his A game or S tier game, because he's in that S tier category for pitchers, he still goes 7 and gives up 1 earned runs. That 1 earned run. That's how great this guy is and how much he means to this. And that's how great this duo can be. Bullpen, again, was solid out of Vino with a great inning. Diaz, was electric this game. And Givens, he did give up the 1 run, but it was a sac fly, really. It wasn't earned because, ghost runner. But it was a weird game. Offensively, it was such a weird game. Just like Neto bunting and getting the double play called on him. Ranger Suarez pitched well, but still, that's a guy you should be able to get to. The fact that he only goes 7 innings, 1 earned run, and the only run that we score on him is in the second on a sac fly. To answer right back, I will admit, which was good, but I wanted to see. It was just a weird game. It just felt like the contact we were making wasn't great. We weren't making the smartest decisions. In the ninth to send Marte, Joey Cora, I don't think that was the greatest decision. Diaz only pitched 7 pitches. They end up 7 out Givens instead. So I just think it was a weird game. Not the greatest decisions by the coach, which they've made a lot of good decisions this year. They've been great. I love Joey Cora. He's had a couple. He's an aggressive third base coach. So you're going to have a couple of those where you're like, eh. So on that night, the only reason it was kind of head-scratching because he was coming in, it was shallow, and he had momentum. If he had stopped and then had to throw, I probably would have been okay with it. But he had momentum as well, and it was shallow. And he did, listen, Marte almost beat it, and it was a perfect throw, but still. And I know how fast Marte is. I probably wouldn't have sent him, but overall, it's just a weird game. You still got Max doing his thing, so ultimately, they toss that one aside, and they win the next 2 games, which is big. That's what you're looking for. You're not going to win them all. You're looking to win series. You're not always going to get a sweep, but you're just looking to win series. You're not going to win them all, so to toss that one aside and just keep going, win the next 2 was big. And I think this series, and really since deGrom has been back, really shows how dominant this pitching is. Phillies went 16 innings with no runs scored. The last 2 games were shut out. They went, because it was 10 innings, 26 innings, 2 runs. Let me put that, 26 innings, 2 runs. That's 0.69 runs per game. That's going to win you. You should win almost every ball game with that. That's how good this pitching is. It could be an historic pitching rotation. It really is that good. And, you got the Braves coming up for a 4-game set. They just swept the Marlins. And listen, you're going down to Atlanta. Take care of business. Win 2. Minimum, you gotta split. But they should be looking to take 3 or 4. Strider's pitching tonight. Go attack and make that rookie look stupid for saying they were lucky. Mets are lucky. And people keep saying that the Mets are lucky. Phillies broadcasters got caught saying it, kind of. Like, they're like, look how miles per hour on the hits that Wheeler gave up on the third game. The Mets aren't, listen, you're always going to want to barrel up the baseball, but the Mets aren't always needing or looking to barrel up the baseball. We have guys who are just when there's runners on base, they're looking to find holes. They're, okay, I see the second base hole's open. If I just get it through, the guy from second is going to score. So they just kind of put it in that direction, lean it, try to get the barrel, but just focus on pushing it that direction. And that's what happens. That's the type of team this is. And people saying that's not going to win a championship. Go look at the Royals. Mets fans know, because the Royals did the exact same thing to us. And they won. Just key hits, just getting the ball on base. That's why I've always been such a huge Hosmer fan, because of what he did to us. It hurt me so much. But seeing what that guy could do, I always liked watching Hosmer, just being able to put the ball in play. But yeah, you guys go take care of business. You're going to have deGrom on the mound. You're going to have Scherzer on the mound for the last 2 games. Go take one of these. You're going to have Walker Carrasco. You got to win it. Hopefully you win it. If you could split that, hopefully you win the last 2. You'll be in good shape. And then you got the Phillies after that. And then after August, I think you have the Yankees after that as well. So August, again, the end of August is very tough. You're going through a brutal stretch right now. Once September comes, you got one of the easiest schedules in baseball. So if you could just continue this winning baseball, win the series, once you get to September, things are going to lighten up. You're going to see some more sweeps, hopefully. It's not going to be as much pressure. You're going up against teams that are out of the playoff race, and there's just going to be smiles on your faces. So let's go take care of business in Atlanta. Let me guys know your thoughts on the Philly series in the comments or on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description. Let me know what you think about upcoming Brave series. Give me your opinions on the Phillies, the Mets, the Braves, all that, the division race, anything you want. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the other side.